An absolutely massive YouTube channel named Gameranx just featured Star Citizen. And by featured, I'm saying it's a little bit critical. Actually, the video was critique, but the biggest criticism they had was that Star Citizen was taking too long, which isn't really bad criticism. It's pretty good. Now, if you don't know Gameranx, there's four guys who do it here. It's Jake, Falcon, Tom, and Andrew that make the videos here. And I was just watching the Hitman video yesterday, so I'm very happy to see them cover Star Citizen. Although they are being critical, the thing they're criticizing the most, as I just said, is that the game is taking long, which no one can argue against. Yeah, it's taking long, so not bad criticism at all. And I have no doubt that, oh my god, 256,000 views already. This has been climbing incredibly fast, and pretty good video. Let's run through some points and see where we can elaborate or correct when we come across it. Buckle up, here we go.
And development is ongoing. In fact, that's really what we want to talk about here today. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Gameranx, we ask the question, is Star Citizen taking too long?
I can do one better. Who is Star Citizen? No, that's wrong. I can do one better. The question should be, why is Star Citizen taking so long? Yeah, it's taking long. You will not find anyone saying they're happy about how long it's taking. But if you actually dig down and understand why it's taking long, especially since Cyberpunk came out, and after Cyberpunk, everyone's like, yeah, all you guys making games, take your time. Don't give us Cyberpunk again. Take the extra 6 months. Take the year you need. I believe Elite Dangerous just postponed their expansion. And obviously Cyberpunk, all fresh in everyone's mind. Is there any question that game devs sometimes do need extra time to get things right? There's also the argument of being too much of a perfectionist, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's hear what's happening here.
Packages start at $45 and go up as high as $1,100, which, by the way, I gotta say, that's, if you got that kind of money to spend and you want to spend it, it's a free country, but
bless
man,
you.
I'm struggling to be civil.
Bless
here.
you, Falcon.
There are three things.
All right, and this is a point which is very weird. If you're from the outside of the Star Citizen bubble, it does look strange that people spend $1,000 on a JPEG of a ship. How do they do this? What's happening here? Are they brainwashed? The answer is this, and I've explained this many times. Those of you new to my channel, let me explain again. The biggest demographic, age group of my channel are individuals in the 35 to 44-year-old age and the 25 to 34-year-old age. Those two demographics are equal in size, and they're pretty much, I think, equal to what you'll see across Star Citizen as a whole. Now, what does that mean? That means the people who back Star Citizen and play the game, it's not your average 15-year-old playing Fortnite, it's not your average 12-year-old playing Call of Duty. These are generally older individuals who are established, who have jobs, who have probably married, have kids, have a house, have 2 cars, maybe have a house by the lake. These are the people that back this game. And would it be crazy to think that these people might have $1,000 of disposable income to buy something which they want in a video game? And the answer to that, as we see by $340 million spent in Star Citizen, is yes. There are plenty of individuals with lots of disposable income that say, I'm going to buy myself this $1,000 JPEG of a ship because I can and I want it. And Falcon was like, hey, it's a free country. Do what you like. I like it. You're right.
I think it's really important just to say that after this much time, and just keep in mind that they've been in development since 2010, 2 years before they announced and crowdfunded.
I don't know why he's focusing on the 2010 number. I guess here's the argument there. I mean, obviously, the point of the video was it's taking long, and if you want to push that point, it means the game must have been made in 2010, not 2012 when the Kickstarter came out. So that gives you the 11 years, which sounds like a very, very long time for game production, which it is. But if you want to go down that slope, Chris Roberts had the idea for Star Citizen back when he made the Freelancer game. In fact, back in the mid-90s, he had the idea of what he'd like the game to be, which turned out to be Star Citizen. So would it be accurate to say that Star Citizen has actually been in pre-production since the mid-90s? I think that'll be a perfectly valid argument also. But on the other end of the spectrum, if we look at what we have in the game right now, the game mechanics and the assets, those only really started coming out back in 2015-16 when Procedural Planets came in. So would it be also along the same lines, except the polar opposite of that, to say that the game in its current state only started really coming out back in 2016? Yes, it would. So there's a very wide area of dates you can say where it really began or where the assets actually started coming out. That's a big debate for another time, though.
So you get a character creator that, again, we're talking about a game that is more than a decade into development. That's really like bare bones.
I would... All right, look, the character development is not terrible. I mean, it's decent. And the only thing is, my criticism is that if you've played EVE Online, I think the character development EVE Online is top-notch. And I would have liked to see something similar. But look, this is what they went with. This is what they decided to do with. And look, it's not bad at all. I mean, you get to blend faces together.
You drop in, you start making this
It
character,
does the job.
and you can kind of blend stuff from some pre-made models. Yeah. It's not that like the faces look like bad or anything. It's just not really handled well in terms of customization or any of this.
Yeah, look, the character customization is not going to blow you away. It's okay. It just is okay.
Feel like it's also not really that important. Like, it kind of feels a little unnecessary given your head is going to be obscured at all times.
I disagree with that. Even though you do wear helmets because you're in space, a lot of the time you are in space stations. And for those individuals who like to role play, your helmet comes off. But also there are many helmets where you can see your face through the helmet. And there's also a great feature in Star Citizen called FOIP, which is face over IP, where your camera tracks your eyes and your mouth and your facial movements, which then puts them onto your character speaking. So yes, your character's face is important. And I don't think you'll find a single person, especially role play, saying no, so important. But I guess everyone has their own preferences about how they want to play.
But all right, let's talk a little bit about each module. Star Marine, it's multiplayer FPS combat. We did not have luck with this. We did not get anywhere with matchmaking for the most part. It feels like a vaporware game where there's like nobody playing it. But I have to imagine a game that's raised this much money has more than like one other person to play with at any given time.
Okay, I'll explain that. When that module came out first, it was packed. You couldn't get in. But how much time can you spend playing that? Can you spend 10 hours? Yeah. Can you do 20 hours? Yeah. And I know people who spend 40, 50, 60 hours in there. But at what point you go, all right, I think I've played enough of this, and you go back to the persistent universe. Excuse me. So yes, if you go log in right now, you might not find people to play with because honestly, most people are just bored of it. They're not playing it. And the reason that Star Marine is in there is to allow the developers to fine-tune the game mechanics, the weapons. Is this weapon too OP? Is this weapon too soft? Is this armor too OP? And they'll toss the new weapons, everything in there, and allow players to test them out. Also the level design, test that out. Basically to allow balancing for the game. So that's the extent of what Star Marine is. Star Marine is not its own standalone game, which is supposed to be played all the time. I don't know anyone who's playing the game playing Star Marine right now. Every now and then, a bunch of people will hop in just for quick fun to shoot each other. But yeah, most people jump in when it first came out. You play it a bit, and then you go back to the PU.
Also, everything feels weak or awkward or stilted in some way. I don't know exactly how to describe it beyond that. This mode just feels unnecessary.
Yeah, look, if you're coming from a first-person shooter and you're coming into Star Marine, it does feel different. But keep in mind that this is just one part of a much, much larger game. I don't think Star Citizen is ever going to win a first-person shooter award in any way, shape, or form. The game is just much broader than that. This is a small segment of the game. So if you're coming from Call of Duty, don't expect, well, especially because the pings are and there's a lot of problems with multiplayer, but don't expect, a AAA first-person shooter experience in Star Citizen. The game is more than that.
Space combat, for instance, we can play here. It feels good, a little arcadey, but for me, that's good. I like arcade-style space shooters.
Really? I didn't think that it was arcadey. I guess if you compare it to a proper flight sim like Microsoft Flight Simulator, then maybe. But as it is right now, there are so many buttons and flips and switches to flip and do things with that I wouldn't consider this very arcadey. I think they're in a good place right now, in my opinion. between realism and arcadey, but in no shape, way, or form would I ever consider Star Citizen being too arcadey.
There is not a lot going on in the persistent universe. So we've got hangars in the Stanton system. The game's supposed to eventually have 100 star systems.
So to say there's not a lot happening in the persistent universe, okay, I guess it all depends on the server you're on. Just yesterday, I went out to try to capture some footage of me flying around in a stealth bomber, the Eclipse, and I was just getting shot at everywhere I went. There was not one rest stop I went to where people weren't shooting at me. And I guess it really depends on the server you've landed on, but also keep in mind, space is big. Space is very, very big, and the one single system we have here has more space in it than any game out there almost, just as one system. So to say that it's quiet or dead would simply mean that you landed in a spot that there weren't many people in at that point in time. But Star Citizen is also rectifying this by adding in what's going to be called the Xeno Threat, which is going to be a server-wide mission which goes out to everyone on a server and gets everyone to come together at a certain point and do things, rectifying exactly this concern here where you land somewhere. Now we have to consider that as I don't know if he's a new player, if Falcon's a new player, he seems to know his way around. But you must understand that if you are new and you plop into Lorville or wherever, Area 18 or wherever you are now, and there's no one around, it does seem empty. So that's why the new Xenothreat mission coming down the pipe will be fixing that, saying, hey, you've landed in a spot here, but guess what? There's a server-wide mission. Everyone go to this spot right now, and we need you to go mining. We need you to gather these resources. We need you to go shoot those guys over there. And it's going to basically focus everyone into certain areas of the map to basically create exactly what you need, which is lots of people coming together to make the game feel more full, because space, as I said, is very big.
We have one currently. The graphics are pretty. I gotta give them that. We can't sit here and say that this doesn't look good. Like, you're looking at footage of the game right now. It's pretty. But
it is. I finished playing Cyberpunk, which I thought was spectacular. And you come to Star Citizen and you go, Star Citizen holds up. It is really pretty, as you said.
The actual question at hand. To restate it, is Star Citizen taking too long?
Yes, it is. Now, tell us why it is taking so long.
And if we're talking from a purely, where we are right now perspective, I would not want them to release the game right now and say...
But they're not releasing the game right now.
Hey, this is the complete product. So in that sense, no, it's not taking too long. They need to do more. But that is not...
What? I thought he was going to go the other way completely. Falcon just said, no, it's not taking too... Oh, you know what? I was completely wrong on this. In fact, I should have watched this video before I made this commentary, because I thought he would have gone the other way and said, yeah, it's taking too long. He just said, no. Did I see that correctly? Let me go back a little bit here. Just want to make sure I heard that right.
So in that sense, no, it's not taking too long. They need to do more. But
huh. Okay, I guess he's saying that it's not taking too long in the sense that the game isn't complete. Okay. No argument there. He's right.
I mean, the way that this game continues to raise money by selling kind of falsely scarce in-game stuff.
Well, it's not falsely scarce. It is scarce because they only release some ships at certain times. Creating scarcity is what creates the demand. And creating demand is what allows them to charge this money, charge $1,000 or charge $2,500 for a Javelin. Economics 101. And the reason why they have $340 million in funding is because of the scarcity they create for certain ships. It's all part of the business model, and it's not fake scarcity. It's scarcity which is planned.
You can buy various ships and packs.
Mm-hmm.
You could spend $27,000 on a pack, which included various ships. The most expensive individual ship is $2,500.
I just said that.
There's basically no other game that has ever operated like this.
Right. No other game has done this before. Star Citizen is the first. And at the moment, I haven't seen anyone come close to what they do. But you can bet that so many other game developers are looking at Star Citizen saying, these guys nailed it. Star Citizen nailed it as far as business development and funding goes. Everyone will be studying this in business school saying, how did they do $340 million crowdfunding, because that is something that so many indie game devs would love to do before they get bought out by EA and gutted like so many of them are.
In a lot of cases, I kind of think the funding model being successful has actually been the worst thing for the game. I think...
Again, this comes up each and every single time. The reason why Star Citizen is taking so long is because they're making so much money from their funding, and there's no incentive to actually finish the game, because then they won't be able to raise so much money from funding, which I debunk each and every single time. Cyberpunk just made, $600 million from selling their game, all right? How much money will Star Citizen make from selling a complete game versus now? As I've said before, majority of the people who will be playing Star Citizen are not currently backing the game. Most of my friends who don't follow Star Citizen have no interest in backing early. They will only buy the game once it is complete. And if you can tell me with a pure conscience that Star Citizen will make more money by not releasing a game than on day one when they do release the game and say, hey, it's $50 or $60, come buy this game, they will make $400, $500, $600 million on the release day, which is more money than they've made until now. So to say that they're going to keep on just grinding away, making $30, $40, $50,000 a year and never make the game is, in my opinion, a weak argument.
Probably there's a lot of people drawing salaries that are really comfortable now, just kind of tinkering around with code, thinking, we'll get this done someday. And
yeah, it sounds like that. But if you've actually met the devs who work on the game, and I have at CitizenCon, these guys are passionate and these guys pull the hours. They work hard. Even ask the QA guys the kind of hours they pull. It's a lot of work. No one is sitting there all comfy in LA getting $50,000 a year thinking, yeah, this is the big time for me. I'm going to chill and relax and not actually make a game now. It's not like that. This was a weak argument. I don't think there's a single dev sitting back and going, yeah, I'm just collecting a salary and not doing anything. That is completely incorrect and not right at all.
When it's done, it'll be perfect, but it's worthless to do unless it's perfect, because we've had all this time to do it anyways. Why not do it completely right?
Okay, I see the argument here. Look, the argument of Chris Roberts being a perfectionist and the reason why Star Citizen is delayed because he wants it to be perfect, absolutely true. If Chris Roberts was a bit more flexible and said, yeah, you know what? We don't need procedurally generated planets. Let's just go with the on-rails system of getting to a planet. This game would have been out in 2016. It would have. But the fact that this new technology, new procedurally generated planets came out at the time, caused a big delay and shift in the way things are done. And yeah, absolutely, Chris Roberts being a perfectionist is resulting in the massive, massive delays. But at the same time, what will the final product be like? Will we get Cyberpunk, which has so much potential to be more, but just simply didn't have the time? Or will we get a game for a change where the dev had the time they needed and the money they needed to make it happen? That is what Star Citizen is going to be about. And that's why we're excited to see where this goes. Are you willing to wait a year, 2 years, 3 years? Are you willing to wait 4 years to see what Star Citizen can become? A lot of the younger guys go, hell no. But a lot of the older guys are like, hey, I've played so many games in my time. I am curious to see what happens to a game when you give it the time and money it needs. I'm curious. Are you? Let me know. Post below.
I would say that people who even are very much pro Star Citizen think that the game is taking too long.
Absolutely. But again, he's not asking the follow-up question, why is it taking so long? And if you answer that question, which is the topic for an entirely new video, then you understand better why it's taking so long, and then you're okay. Most people are okay with the delays we are having.
I would hope anyways, because, I mean, criticize the monetization all you want. There are some people that are just fine with that, but they shouldn't be fine with a game that has taken this long.
And there you have it. So that was the Gameranx video. I do think it was pretty fair. I do feel he missed out on the important question of let's analyze why it's taking so long? And the follow-up question is, what will the final product be like if they're given the time to do what they like? And the follow-up to that is, how does the community feel about the delays? And now I can't speak for every single person backing Star Citizen. I can tell you with full confidence that yes, it's frustrating, but I can also tell you that almost everyone that I know following this game, especially after we saw Cyberpunk, saying, hey, you need another year? You need 2 more years? Hell, 3 more years? Let's just keep this going. Bring out the next star system. Bring out Pyro. Bring out more game mechanics. We'll keep on playing the PU as it goes. And that, for the most part, I see is keeping most people pretty satisfied. But with that, guys, let's wrap it up. If you enjoyed my commentary, by all means, drop me a subscribe, thumbs up. I appreciate it. Comment below. And I'll catch you in the next one.